Today's writing spotlight is to point your attention towards the beginnings of sentences. This comes from the article or the part of the textbook that you're to read in week 1. I chose a paragraph and then highlighted the beginnings of the sentences to show you how you might reflect on your own writing. You can see in this paragraph that the author's chosen to start each sentence in a different way. There are some parts that are started with phrases like Scottish primary schools and the overall average or issues of primary-secondary transition. What we don't realise when we're readers is that our brain pays particular attention to these beginnings of sentences. And we give messages with the choices that we make. When you write a paragraph, the first draft is always, importantly, just to get the information down. But on your second draft, you might want to do what I do, and that's to highlight the beginnings of the sentences and then think about the messages that I'm giving. From this paragraph, just looking at these opening parts of the sentence, I can see that in this case we're looking at Scottish primary schools and particularly maybe transitions. That comes through just by looking at those first few words. You can see that in the second part of the paragraph, the author chose to use some beginnings that are what we call signal words or signal phrases. They're telling us, pay attention here because I'm talking about a relationship between what I just said and what's coming next. Okay? The use of however, telling us that something's just been told and now I'm going to give you either the opposite of that or something that's going to change in some ways what's said before. Similarly, is going to indicate to your brain that you're going to get a piece of information that's going to add to an idea. And the same goes for the use of the phrase, for example. It is really interesting in your second draft to highlight your sentence beginnings and just see what kinds of messages you're giving to the reader. Why don't you choose another paragraph out of this reading for the week, highlight, even if you do it in your mind, the beginnings of the sentences and see what kind of messages the author is giving. That's it for today.